That being said, then we'll go ahead and begin to get this meeting started. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm on a Zoom conference. I'll call you right back.
Okay. That's Chef Joseph with his I Dream of Genie.
It does sound like that.
So we'll give Jetty an opportunity to get back after he gets his drink and we'll get started. But like I said, we do have a few guests that are said that they were going to come on today. So hopefully give them a couple more minutes to get on. Check my text messages, make sure I'm not getting anything from anybody requesting information. So we got TJ. Yeah. Well, TJ just went through the storm. We got Chef Joseph getting ready to go through it. TJ, you got any words of advice for Darrell?
Yeah, actually, I do. I need to send you a video clip from Trump's EPA, new EPA advisor.
Yeah, well, his EPA advisor was going to hit Gabriel, wasn't it?
No, the one he had actually said, put some ice in the water to cool the waters down.
Oh, okay.
And then have the Air Force go out and fly in the counter direction of the hurricane to, like the Flash does, to knock the winds down.
Never thought of that.
If that wasn't enough, send the Navy ships out and have them go counterclockwise as well. They can assist. So yeah, those are the three things that are suggested by Trump's EPA advisor.
Okay. Well, hey, like I said, I hadn't thought of those things, so that's good. That's good. We got somebody from the 718 area code. Who's that?
Somebody's showing us the green out there.
Yeah. We got Jim. All right. Got Jim.
Can you hear me?
Who's that?
Hello?
Yeah.
This is Samantha Farmer. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I can.
How you doing?
Okay.
This is
Mr.
this is
Jameson?
Mr. Jamerson. Yeah, this is Mr. Jamerson.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good.
All right. Well, we got the rest of the group. I don't know if you just called in. You didn't go through the link, right?
I'm not sure how the Zoom works.
Oh, okay.
So I dialed the number and I hear y'all audio, but are y'all all on video?
Yeah. We're on. Most of us are on video, but there's at least one more that's on audio, so there's no problem.
Okay. I don't know how to do the video part.
Okay, that's no problem. We got about 9 people on here right now, but we're gonna go ahead and get started. Looks like we got Jim on here. Jim, is that you, Jim?
Yes, John. Yes, that's me.
All right.
I can see you. I don't know if you can see me, but I see you.
Yeah, we can't see you. You got your video off, but that's all right. That's all right.
I'm going to be in my house in just a moment, so I'll get on my computer so you can see me.
Okay. So I was just telling everybody that you and Samantha were going to be our guests for today.
Wow.
And so yeah, I can see you now. As you can see, this is pretty informal. We got Jetty here, who's he's out there simulating being in the hurricane right now. Although he's in California, he just likes having stuff blowing around over there. So we got everybody that's sitting back, relaxing. This is the main part of our group. We probably could easily have, I know, at least 5 or 6 more jump on to the people that I know that normally come on. Tamika said that she had a few meetings that she had going on. So she wasn't sure if she would be able to. She said if she was, she'd just be able to jump in for a brief moment. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. So just to give everybody a rundown with our guests and stuff, we have Jim Coleman. Jim, you're out of New York, correct?
That's correct. I'm out of New York, but I've got a farm in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
I'm looking to restore it.
And then Samantha, I'm not exactly sure where you're on the East Coast also. Are you in Virginia or New York?
I'm in Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York. Okay, so we got two from New York. We touching New York this session, so that's good. So we give you guys a brief rundown of who we are. We're Legacy Farming and Health Group. In our group, we meet every 2 weeks on Thursday. We're from around the country. We got Jetty that's in California, Gabriel that's in Atlanta, Quinn who's on here who's in Michigan, Darrell who's in Virginia, Indigo that's Indianapolis, myself I'm in Southern Indiana, my brother TJ who's in Florida. We also have other people that are in Texas, Arizona, a number of other places that are around the country that are part of this group and everything, which will probably come on. We got 2 or 3 others that are in California and everything. So we basically cover from coast to coast and from north to south as far as our coverage of the people that are in our group. So we've gotten together to help and assist one another in working out. So one of the main things that I was going to touch on that we're doing as a group are the 5 points of what we're going to be touching on with our grant that we got going on that hopefully will come up and be able to get that with the USDA and with Purdue Extension. So the main parts of the grant is got somebody on here that's got a little echo, so let me put a little mute on that. Yeah. All right. Everybody mute it right quick. And hopefully we should be good. All right. With that being said, still hearing the echo. Everybody's muted but me. There we go. All right. That should take care of it. There we go. All right. But with that being said, with what we're doing, there's 5 areas that we were looking at touching. One was to assist the socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers in owning and operating successful ranches and farms, to improve participation in socially disadvantaged veterans and farmers and ranchers and in the USDA program, which is one of the main ones that we highlighted, to build relationships between current and prospective farmers and ranchers who are socially disadvantaged, and the USDA's local, state, regional, and national office, to introduce agricultural related information to socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers through innovative training and technical assistance techniques, and to introduce agricultural education targeting socially disadvantaged youth and or socially disadvantaged beginning farmers and ranchers in rural and persistent poverty communities. So those are the key areas of what the grant is that we're looking at doing. Our thing is that we're going to do it regardless if we get the grant or not. So as we were looking at doing that, and we're working with Purdue Extension and the USDA, in assisting us in getting that. We are also looking at partnering with other individuals. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce to everybody Jim Coleman. So Jim, I'm gonna go ahead and
okay.
You already got you off of mute. So go ahead, Jim.
Okay, John, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you well.
Good deal. Well, hello everybody. I'm Jim Coleman, and I grew up on a little small pig farm that my great-grandfather purchased in 1888, and it's in Lexington, Kentucky, and it's been in our family for 131 years, and I own it today. And my wife and I, Kathy, we have owned it since 2002. I purchased it from my mother, and when I was growing up, we had pigs and cows and sheep and everything you could think of. It's a little small farm, but we were very productive with it. And what I'm trying to do is I had a meeting down at Kentucky State University about 2 weeks ago with the president as well as the dean of their agriculture department. And because the farm is not being used now, what I'm going to partner with them on is to set up a farmer incubator program to allow aspiring and beginning farmers to learn how to farm. And we're going to show them how to make $50,000 to $65,000 on a half-acre lot. We've got about 12.3 acres total, and so we're going to break it out into half-acre lots and show them how to raise high-value, high-yield crops, and to also, as John was talking about, expose them to all of the different ways that they can purchase land in the future and equipment. And Kentucky State's got this new farmer curriculum that they're going to use, as well as they're going to help me to also get grants to set this program up. I'm going to be going back down there on September the 30th to meet with the FSA department in Lexington, as well as to have a 2-day meeting with Kentucky State to actually set up the whole plan. And I'll send it out, John. I've just been on the go, but I'll send it out after this call to kind of share with you all what it's all about. But, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get the farm back into use, and we're going to do it in dedication to my parents who graduated from Kentucky State in 1949. So this is the 70th year of their graduation from Kentucky State. My father graduated studying agriculture. And so we're going to do a lot of good in helping a lot of new farmers who want to get into farming. The millennials is the fastest growing career for millennials. Second fastest growing career is farming. And I don't know if you all have seen these different urban farmers. We're trying to take it from this guy named Curtis Stone, who is making about $100,000 per quarter acre. And he's raising these really hot crops that, you know, everything from spices to herbs to, you know, items that really are high value, high yield, and where you can make a lot of money in a small amount of space. And so I'm going after people who really want to make money farming, not where it's a hobby, but where you really want to have the freedom to control your own destiny. And you start off with understanding how to farm. You learn about marketing, the business of farming. You learn how to sell and get contracts with restaurants and hospitals and everybody else that would buy from you. And so that when they get out of the incubator after about 2.5 to 3 years, they've got contracts, customers. They already have proven that they can farm. They know exactly what types of products to raise. They understand the management of it, you know, over the full year. So when they come out of the program, they're no longer a major risk to a bank or FSA or anybody else that they would want to go to get loans to be able to buy their own piece of property. So that's what I want to do, and that's what we're going to do with Coleman Crest in Lexington, Kentucky. Stay tuned.
Coleman Crest, okay. That sounds excellent. So let me be first to introduce myself. I'm John Jamerson with Legacy Taste of the Garden, and we are in Lyle Station, Indiana, which is the last remaining African-American settlement in Indiana. My father-in-law is featured up there in the Smithsonian as the last remaining African-American farmers still farming family-owned land that they owned pre-Civil War. They got their farm, I believe, in 1855 that they're still farming. So it's good to see someone else out there who's got land, who's looking at taking on this craft. We agree with everything that you're saying. So what I'm gonna do is open it up, and what I'm gonna ask for is that everybody give you an opportunity to do a very brief introduction and bio about yourself, and then ask any question that you may have. Myself, I do farming. I do it with high tunnels, and then I also do training for the youth in Indianapolis and in Evansville, as well as here in Princeton, and I just sell garden variety produce and stuff. So I would love to hear a little more about your techniques and stuff, because I like to get my yields up a little bit more and get my figures up a little bit more as to what I'm making. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it on to Jetty. Give him an opportunity to introduce himself. Go ahead.
Hey, how are you? How you doing, Jim and Suzanne, Samantha? Hi. I'm out here in California on the California-Arizona border in Blythe. It's kind of hot out here, but this year we haven't gotten any 120-degree days, or I'm happy about that. And we're just about to the fall season now. We have 2.5 acres over here, adjacent to a church that we have. Well, it was a church. It's now non-functioning as a church, but we're going to use it for our program here to train the young people and beginning farmers, socially disadvantaged farmers. Anybody else who wants to listen, and that's all I have to say right now.
Did you have any questions for Jim?
I have none. Well, one, I hope that you will consider a credit program for these people that are coming through these programs too, because that'll probably be something that'll be necessary. And there are plenty of good ones out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And anybody that's got any feedback, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell him what you do as far as training, Jetty.
Well, I do aeroponics and hydroponics, and right now I'm not doing it over the church. I've got some hydroponics equipment over there, but I haven't set it up yet. I will this eventually. I'm taking an aquaponics course now that I've been taking for like a year, and it's a very good course. Gabriel, you might know this guy, Brooklyn Michael. He's a black man, and he's an ex-Marine, but I'll share that information with you if I haven't already. But I'm doing aquaponics as well. Gabriel is aquaponics expert, so I guess we can go on to there. But okay. I'm just here right now, enjoying this meeting.
All right. Well, we'll jump to Gabriel next.
All right. Welcome to the group, Jim. Good to have you on.
Thank you.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Getting a little garble in there, but put them up. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I was saying, welcome to the group, Jim.
Thank you.
It's encouraging to hear that you've got some land that you're wanting to get back into the fold and share it with the community and those who are interested in maybe following a more sustainable lifestyle, hopefully,
Yes.
and getting closer to the land and things that we seem to have really deviated from over these past few years. Anyways, I'm into the aquaponics side, like Jetty was saying. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with what aquaponics is. I'm sure probably Kentucky State probably has some variation of that or some program running an aquaponics type system.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of my area of expertise, and I'm looking to build something commercially here in the future, and I'm hoping to bring that expertise and that knowledge to this group so that anyone else that's interested in aquaponics commercially can learn from that.
Fantastic.
Do you have any questions for him?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll jump down to Quinn.
Greetings, everyone. Nice to meet you, Jim, and also
Hey, Quinn.
Samantha. Hey, how's it going? Congratulations on everything. That sounds very interesting what you're doing, what you all have got going on there. My name is Quinn Moore, and I'm from Detroit. I deal with cannabis. I'm a grower, and not like a couple of the other guys. I don't know much about aquaponics or hydroponics, but I still can grow it. And I have hold on. I'm sorry, I got the kids back here, but
we can read the back of your head. We heard what you said.
All right. And, I'm in the city, and I was just thinking, I'm a city guy, but you say you got a small farm, but then he said 18 acres. I was like, that don't sound so small to me, but I don't know no better. But anyway, I'm Quinn, man, and anything you can ask me about cannabis, growing marijuana, weed, and soil, I can pretty much answer.
Okay.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Any questions for him, Quinn?
Not right now. Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Not right now.
What do you all think about making 65 to 75,000 on a quarter-acre lot? Do you know anybody out there? You know, you see it on YouTube all the time. This guy Curtis Stone. But do you all know anybody that's like urban farming where they're using quarter-acre lot, half-acre lot, and generating $75,000 to $100,000 a year in gross?
I know there are those that are out there that are farming on that size of acreage, but I don't think they're making that amount of money.
Okay.
So that's why I'm very intrigued, and like you know, my thing is with the group and what we're doing. I see a lot of value in what you're talking about, and you know, I would personally, my suggestion would be, you know, like to work with you, partner with you, however you want to see, because what you're doing is very similar to what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, you know, my thing is that the same way as we are in the process of putting things together to put together training programs to go across the country. See where yours is falls right in there. You also work with the USDA to get the grants and things of that nature. So,
That's right.
Love to be able to do that.
John, like one item that we've done some research on that generates $20 per square foot is ground covers. And landscaping companies can't get enough of it. So we're talking about items that are in big demand and that, you know, are high in value. But when you look at $20 per square foot and every acre is 43,256 square feet, you know, 40,000 times $20 is rolling. So even if it were $5, that would be a lot. And so we're looking at those non-traditional crops that are in big demand, and you have to know by market that are in big demand and high on the dollar amount per square foot, so that we can help these new farmers to be able to get into farming and stay in it and be successful at it.
Right, and that's part of what the programs are that we're looking at with what we have, such as with the hoop houses, to be able to utilize that with the aquaponics and things of that nature. So our thing is we're into showing them and teaching them how to be able to use the equipment. If you got a formula as to what is the cash crop, so to speak, other than Quinn over there with the cannabis, you know, that is something that, like I said, that we really see that I believe is very valuable.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think everybody's in agreement with that. And I think that what you have is I believe that everybody sees it's something that's excellent. I know that we've looked at some of these things. We just haven't, as a group, gotten somebody who's that's their point of expertise. So you fit the need of a void that we have. Looks like we got Jetty that's got something to say. Go ahead, Jetty.
Thank you. Yeah, I forgot to tell Brother Jim. Jim, Curtis sent me another email last week, and I wanted to join his thing, but we got to get down on this aquaponics. We got the conventional stuff down, the hydroponics and all that, but you know, the fish and vegetables, that's going to be a real good thing there. Curtis Stone has an excellent program. Believe me, I wanted to take it, but I just couldn't do it this time, and he made it very affordable too.
All right.
Well, the other thing I want to let you all know is I did some research. It's called Headwaters out of Montana. This Headwaters incubator program, they've got a set program that's already running for incubators, farmer incubators, and we're going to look at that along with the curriculum that Kentucky State has and merge the two together versus kind of starting from scratch. And so any kind of ideas that any of you have, and I'm going to send this out to John. John, if you could distribute this to everybody.
Yeah.
But this is what we're going to be using to set up our program.
Okay. And if you would, Jim, email or any way that anybody who may be interested in what you're doing, if you could, that we got a chat thing in there somewhere. Type in your information on how they can contact with you, phone number, email, however that you want, and then that way they will have that. You and I, we already got my email and stuff, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we're good on that. So while you're doing that, I'm gonna get a couple of others. I know that they want to get introduced to you and say who they are. So Dr. Ramona, you with us?
Yes, I am. Oh, I'm on mute. Hi, my name is Ramona Ross. I'm a medical doctor. I'm more into selling herbal products and items that are already manufactured, and I'm looking to be able to sell products that I know the source. I know where they come from and the growing techniques that they use, and things that are not adulterated, that don't come from China, and that I can tell for sure that they're not contaminated, and the quality, that they are good quality, that they really work. So I'm interested in more than growing, selling natural products for health, and I'm open to any questions that you have about products for different health issues that anybody may have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you have any questions to Jim?
No, I'm interested. I like you said, I'm intrigued to see how he can extract the money from such a small piece of land.
I've heard about it, and I've done research on it. I haven't put all those things into practice yet, but I've heard that you can easily make 6 figures from a half acre or so, between an acre and a half acre and an acre of land. So I've read the books. I just haven't met anybody who's actually done it. So I with Jim practicing not too far from me, it won't be too hard for me to make a run over there to Lexington. To get it.
It's not far at all.
Yeah. So
let me just, hey John, if I could share real quick, and I'll be real fast on this, but these are the crops that this guy, that I shared, Curtis Stone, that he's doing is bamboo, flowers, ginseng, ground covers, which I shared a little bit earlier, all types of herbs like cilantro, oregano, basil, landscaping trees and shrubs, mushrooms, ornamental grasses. Those are the 8 that we're looking at with Kentucky State to be able to say these are the crops that can generate the highest amount of pricing and that are in big demand, and the buyers can't get enough of it. And so
I want to get in on the ginseng. I'll tell you that now. I know it takes I think like 5 years for roots to mature, but you can sell the seed and the
that's right.
There's something else with them that you can sell after about 2 years and be able to generate quite a bit of money from that.
That's exactly right. It talks about the value of this plant. It's called green gold. The value of this plant is that it's certainly slowing in the roots, even though growing ginseng requires a 6-year wait to harvest the mature roots. Most growers also sell young rootlets and seeds for income while the roots are maturing. So you're exactly right on, John. The one that I love the most, though, is that ground covers. I looked at that and said, if I had my whole farm in ground covers at 12.3 acres, 43,560 square feet per acre, times $20, that's $10.7 million in gross sales. So if that's all I grow on the whole farm.
So with the ground covers, are you looking at like specialized grass and stuff like that that you would sell to construction companies? And
That's right, like that? Landscapers. It says, due to high labor cost and water shortages, ground covers are becoming the sensible low-maintenance way to landscape, bringing profits of up to $20 per square foot. Ground covers are an ideal cash crop for the small backyard plant nursery.
Sounds like a winner.
So if I could, you know, again, Coleman Crest, the Coleman Crest Farmer Incubator, I'm looking to produce successful farmers out of it. So that for two reasons. One, it keeps it sustainable so that we can continue to get grants, both at the federal level, state level, as well as from Kentucky State. Right. But as well as long-term, I could see this because I want to be able to have a trust set up so that it's got a revenue stream coming from this as well as grants to make it available in a perpetuity, you know, basis where it's forever. So we've got to make sure that people are successful so that we can continue to justify the grants as well as some kind of rev share. You know, if someone's making $300,000 or $200,000 and they share 15,000 of it, and you've got 10 farmers, that really could go towards the trust to be able to keep this when I'm gone. You know, that could really keep the program going for other future farmers.
Yeah, and that's part of what we're looking at trying to put together. Our thing is to not just put together things for farmers. We're looking at the total structure of everything. That's why we call it Farming and Health. We got Dr. Ramona on here that she's the herbalist. We have Indigo. She's our nutritionalist that also teaches people how to cook the stuff. She does training also, and the thing is that we recognize over our time that you have to have all of these. It's one thing to have for our people the vegetables, but then we've gotten so far out of 2 or 3 generations of cooking. They now have to learn how to cook. And then, for those who have also gotten out of, they need a reason why. So, you have to have the nutritional or the doctor that tells them, look, this is what you need instead of taking all these medications and stuff.
That's right.
You can take this. And so what you're saying is ideally what we're looking at doing, putting together the whole thing. That's why we're across the whole country, because we're looking at how do we connect with one another and how do we make this work for one another. So we're looking at also hitting the food deserts, putting them into the schools, the churches, and everything else, getting the groups together, putting together the infrastructure to be able to make sure that during the out-of-season times or the non-grow times for certain areas, such as Indiana, Michigan, and stuff like that, that we have the connections with the people in the South to be able to get fresh produce and stuff to these areas and things of that nature. So everything that you're talking about is exactly what we're looking at. Look like Quinn had a quick question for you, and then I'm going to introduce you to TJ. Go ahead, Quinn.
Okay, question. What are ground covers? Or however, I might have mispronounced it.
You said it right.
It's kind of like flowers, and blooms that you'd put down versus necessarily having to have grass. They would bloom. It could be purple, red, but it looks like small flowers that you would grow and that you would sell them to landscapers. And then instead of necessarily having grass, they can withstand and stay stronger, and it's a lot less maintenance for landscapers. And they're looking to buy it. Walmart, everybody's looking to buy this. You can't keep it from landscapers going and buying it left and right every day. It's just they can't find enough of it. That's why it's at $20 a square foot if you can use it.
So you say that this is like an alternative to grass?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. TJ?
Less maintenance, less water.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Hold on for a second. I got a phone ringing here. I need to shut it off. So, TJ, I'm John's brother. I'm actually a graduate of Kentucky State University.
Wow.
So happy to hear you working with the university there with respect to your program.
Yes.
I'm a private investor, primarily with an interest in hemp and cannabis. And I work alongside with John. This gives me an opportunity to really see things work from the root to the tooth, so to speak. So in terms of how farming works and products are. So at the end of the day, a couple of things for you. I don't know what your farming experience is. What I've heard is pig farm in the family for many years. You're from New York, plot of acreage or land in Lexington, however, and developed a partnership with the university. How many years of farming experience personally do you have?
Well, I was born on that farm, and when my brothers went off to college, my father made me the manager of the farm when I was 11 years old. And I raised the pigs, the cows. We had tobacco, corn. I had a big garden. I really didn't know what I was doing. My father knew what I was his laborer. He made me the president, and he told me, he said, I said, what am I going to get paid? He said, 3 hots and a flop. I said, I'm already getting that. He said, now you're going to start earning it.
There you go.
And he put me to work, and I learned how to manage. We spread manure instead of using chemicals. We were organic before organic was cool. But we had chickens, cows, anything you could sell, we used it. And we used the money to he sent all 5 of us to college on that farm. I mean, he was really the urban, that's, just looking at what I saw him do, what these urban farmers are doing, that they have the same mindset. Like when my brothers were running the farm, they didn't feed the hogs enough. And, we didn't have enough corn produced, so we'd have to go to southern states to get grain. And they didn't feed them enough. And so they were hungry, and they're breaking out every morning. So when I took over, I just started giving them like 3 times what my brothers had been feeding them. And my father came up to the barn. He said, well, you're going to break us. I said, well, why don't we get rid of the hogs? You can't get rid of the goose that lays the golden egg. I said, what are you going to do? He said, give me a couple of days. We got to figure something out. And that back then, he went and negotiated a deal with this restaurant called Saratoga Restaurant, and we started picking up their slop. And they paid us $5 a barrel to pick it up, fed it to our hogs. Hogs ate it. After about 2 months, it got so backed up because we had so much slop coming that they stopped eating it. And so we took the excess slop and went up and down the roads and started selling that for $5 a barrel. And we went from a business that was unprofitable to 0 cost to even a new revenue stream. And so, TJ, that's what that kind of spirit and entrepreneurship and running a business is what I want to be able to convey. Kentucky State's got the curriculum. Where I'm going to come in is I want to make sure these farmers know how to market, know how to sell, and know how to make money. So I'm going to I want Coleman Crest Incubator to be known for, you can come in there with a small amount of land and produce more than a lot of farmers are doing with 800 acres and make money and be independent and be free of the man and never have to work for anybody.
Yeah, and I don't.
What I'm going to be going after.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with any of that. I throw a portion of caution out to say there's a saying that says overpromise or underpromise and overdeliver.
Yes.
And so if you're talking, 40 to 75K or whatever else from that end, you gotta be a low cost producer.
Yes.
Some of these things become commodities in certain situations. One of the advantages you may have is if Kentucky State is supporting it, you may have a labor cost that might be pretty low, particularly if it's part of a curriculum for students. But at the end of the day, in addition to growing and marketing, you also have packaging, shipping, those types of things, because, just because you got ground cover growing in your garden doesn't get it to Lowe's.
That's exactly right.
So you got to think through all those channels. In addition, there's probably 20 to 25% of crops will fail at some point in time. You may have, we just had a hurricane here that can wipe out
floods,
crop, those types, exactly. And so as you build out your margins, those types of things, your business model, I think you also have to build in room for some of the unexpected Murphy's Laws, right? Things that may happen. And I think until you can get things across all verticals rolling, and again, from growing the seed all the way through packaging, shipping, sales, whatever else, and know what your full end costs are. I just would,
I agree.
you know, how you position things
would be realistic. I'm with you.
There you go. And so that would be it. The other thing I like to add is, you know, as it becomes profitable, you talked about the legacy or the trust that you like to build. One of the things that I would welcome seeing is, since partnering with the university, scholarship program or things like that might be afforded to people that work through this to help pay off either their tuition costs for the 4 years if they come in. So things that can make it attractive for people to come in, study, learn, keep your labor costs down, but give them a benefit, you know, 4 to 5 years out once they completed the program from that standpoint.
I agree. Absolutely.
So
it's great.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much. It's great feedback. I appreciate it.
All right. Darrell, AKA Chef Joseph.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing? Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
here.
Go ahead. You got any questions for Jim or comments?
No, I think what he's saying is really, it's like a really good niche what you have going on. I'm not really a farmer, but more so into food, not really food, but sauce and ginger drink manufacturing. Mm-hmm. And so we've come into a situation where there's some land involved. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do with it, which direction to go, that type of thing. So other than that, I think it's really good. I have no questions.
All right.
Chef, is ginger a good product that's in demand? And is that a good product for farmers, urban, small, micro, I guess it's not urban farmers. I guess we could call it small micro farmers. Is that ginger a good product?
Yeah, you talking about for us to grow it or as far as consuming by the public?
Oh, I know it's good for us, isn't it? It's good for us, but for a farmer, for a small micro farmer, would you say ginger is a good crop to raise?
That I don't know. Like I said, I'm just getting into it. That's the thing. And but the thing is, we have a lot of land, but not really deciding, okay, what to grow off the land. I know we had talked about we talked about some of the things you were sharing this evening. So that's where I'm at. It's kind of a gray area as far as getting into the farming and the growing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Look like Gabriel got a question over there.
Yeah, it's not really a question. It's my understanding that when you grow ginseng, I don't think you can grow it again in that same spot. I think I read that where once you grow a crop of ginseng,
mm-hmm.
that area you can't grow ginseng in again. So it's kind of like a one-time grow area, and then you got to move it to another location. You can grow other crops, but for some reason, ginseng leaves some residual that won't allow it to grow again in that same spot.
Thanks a lot. Okay.
That's something good to know. Indigo.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, my bad. I think I got her muted, and I don't know if she.
Can you hear me?
All right, I can hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. You
Go
can
ahead.
hear me? Okay, perfect. Well, my name is Indigo Okan, and as Mr. Jamerson was saying earlier, I am a whole food plant-based educator as well as a chef, self-taught. My main focus is to teach people how to build whole food plant-based recipes themselves. So I developed my own recipe pyramid that literally teaches and takes people step by step through a recipe, any recipe that they want to create. My main thing with this group is just to work with like different organizations, different farmers, and utilize their produce, herbs, spices, fruits, vegetables, and just show people how to make whole food plant-based recipes for themselves. So I'm more in like the education and the application of the produce that you guys grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have
and
any
I don't really have any questions.
Okay.
I don't really have any questions. I just love the passion and the foresight as far as, just taking everything from idea to completion. So I love the passion.
Yeah.
Good deal.
And as you can see with the group that we have, Jim, even with what you're doing, it would be great to be able to for us to come there and learn the techniques and stuff that they have, especially once Kentucky State get them together to work with your program. We're individuals who are already in there looking at how to put everything together. Like I said, we got the doctors, we got the chefs and everybody that are already here together to help make the total package of everything, putting it together. So we're trying to get all that together. So somebody else, Deb, that I was trying to get to. Deb, you there?
I'm here.
All right.
Deborah?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I have not been I've been under the weather, but I'm feeling better now.
Okay.
And yes, just ready for people to tell me what they need done, and I'll do it. Website, nonprofit organization, profit project, financial counseling, all of that kind of stuff. That's me.
All right, and that's part of what we're going to be getting into on the tail end of our thing later on. So did you have any questions for Jim or comments?
No, I got here a little late, so I've just been absorbing as we've been going along here.
Okay. All right. So then it looks like we got a couple other new individuals here, so I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves and to, if they got any questions or even to share with who they are. We'll start with Samantha Farmer. Samantha, you there?
Samantha's here.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, my class came down to Laos Farm and Museum back in March, and I have no farming experience, urban growing, none of that. But I was very inspired by everything that I heard. I took a lot of notes, and the class session has finished, and some of the students, we're still staying in touch and everything.
That's right.
And at least 4 of us was like, we need to network with the Laos, the community there that we met. Mm-hmm. And I took all the contact information down, and at least 2 of the 4 of my colleagues, we're considering repatriation back to the motherland, Africa, either to live there and or work. And when we say live, it's not like we're going to live there the entire year, because, home base is here in America. Mm-hmm. But months at a time, we're looking at the West Coast, Ghana, Senegal, or Gambia. Well, one of my colleagues, she already has a home out there in Gambia.
Okay.
So, but the plan for us, we're trying to learn as much as we can as it relates to farming and try to utilize those skills, techniques, expertise, or whatever in the motherland, but we still want to network here and abroad. And the thing is, we see, and it's not no racist thing I'm getting ready to say, but we see the Chinese in Africa, we see the Lebanese, the Arabs in Africa, and they availing themselves of the potential that's there in Africa. And so at first, when I was doing the research, I felt like I'm just going to go out there and, if not necessarily to be a farmer in Africa, but contribute towards the farming sector out there that will provide the Africans that's there jobs and things like that. But I felt like I'm just going there to use these people, our brethren, and my colleague was like, you're not using them. If you're going there for opportunity or anything like that, don't look at it like you're using your people. You're not using your people. It's going to be a win-win both sides. Everybody's going to help each other. And so that's kind of where we're leaning. The other two members out of the four, they're more into staying here in America and learning a lot about the farming. And they're probably leaning toward the hemp products, because when we was at Laos Station, the lady, I believe it was Miss Vivian, or the Muslim elder gentleman, was talking about how the hemp product can make a lot of different things, door handles, bars of soaps, oils, and so they leaning toward, learning how the hemp farming. And what Mr. Quinn, I think it was Mr. Quinn, said something about he's in Detroit doing cannabis. Isn't cannabis and hemp, they're related, but they're different, because we wasn't leaning toward marijuana. But if somebody can explain the difference to me or the similarities, but the two of my colleagues were more into the hemp as far as production of soaps and car handles and all of those things.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give you two our hemp cannabis gurus. That would either be Jetty or Quinn. Which one of y'all want to take this one?
You know what? I'll make a statement about it. I actually wish Tamika was here, because this is one of
Yeah, you faded out on us, Quinn.
the fibers.
I don't think he can hear us, but he's right about Tamika. Tamika, she does a lot of the hemp products, and basically the most significant difference between hemp and cannabis or marijuana is the THC level. Besides that, is basically the same plant as they call them, cousin plants. So and you can use the CBD oil out of both of them. It just depends on the content of how much, what the level of THC that is in them that distinguishes them from one from another, basically. Is that correct, Daddy? Or TJ? Go for it.
Yeah, and I was going to say that level of differentiation is 0.03. Anything above 0.03 THC is cannabis, and anything below is considered to be its cousin hemp.
Now, I've heard the cousin can get you in a whole lot of trouble.
Which one? Both of them can.
Mitch McConnell said. Mitch McConnell was at a speech when I was in Lexington one time about a year ago, and he said, "Now I'm glad that we're going to be able to let you farmers start and to be able to raise hemp, but you got to be careful, because if you deal with hemp's cousin, he could be a really serious problem."
Yeah, as cannabis. And the problem is that it's hard to distinguish. You cannot distinguish with the naked eye.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to.
It's got to be.
You got to be very careful. So even when you're doing hemp by itself, if you are a hemp farmer, it can get cross-pollinated with some cannabis, and now your hemp has turned into cannabis, and you won't know it until harvest time, and then they go up there and test it, and if it's too stronger than what it's supposed to be, then they wipe out your whole crop. So cannabis right now, from the guys who I'm talking to, who are in it, who are becoming the experts at it, so to speak, they are saying that it needs to be something that is basically grown in a controlled environment. So that's where you're going to need those who have the hydroponics, the aquaponics, hoop houses, things that you can control how it gets pollinated and everything, and in order to come up with the best stuff, because it's going to be very hard to grow hemp out there on large acres of land because you cannot control the wind. So then also even with your cannabis, from what I'm understanding, to be able to grow it outside on large acres of land, unless you make sure that there's nothing around you for at least a mile, it can get connected, for the purity of the strands that they're trying to make. It really affects them also, so they can get connected with an off-strand type of cannabis if you're growing cannabis, and it can change the dynamics of that strand of hemp, and you won't get the high quantity that you want. Mm-hmm. So, Jetty, did you want to say something on that? I see you.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to say that you can grow one, you can grow the other, but she would probably want to talk to Peter Brown.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. So, all right. Anybody else have any comments for him? I see we got somebody else, Frenchie, on here. Hello, Frenchie.
Hear me?
How are you?
I'm fine, and you? This is Frenchie. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
All righty. Yeah, my question was about the hemp. So you're saying it's hard to grow when it's outside, right?
Well, no, not that it's hard to grow. It's hard to
control.
Right. You want to have that control factor.
Uh-huh.
So,
okay, so maybe the next meeting I will have to speak to Mrs. Brown to see all the steps that she takes.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Great.
Oh, you were saying that Mrs. Brown is the expert on when it comes to like the hemp and the marijuana.
Yeah, there is a brother, Mr. Brown, who he's the hemp expert on that. Okay. So we can definitely direct you to him on that. Now, where are you from?
I'm actually from Texas, but I'm in Missouri right now.
Okay. Now, you were part of the group that came here also, correct?
Yes, with Miss Farmer.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad to be able to connect back with you guys. That was a real good day. I was actually looking to hear what Dr. Johnson had to say about Loud Station, but he kept putting the mic back in our hands.
Yeah, I was one of the ones that missed it. I heard so many good things about the meeting, but I've always wanted to learn about growing crops. Hemp is not the only one, but hemp has a lot of opportunities. So It makes a lot of things that you can do with it. So I do like that. But I've always wanted to know how to, grow your own food. So I'm out here looking at different lands and stuff. So I'm hoping to connect with you guys and learn some things.
All right. Jim put on here also that need to check out Organic Africa. That I guess that's for Samantha. Yes. Go ahead, Jim.
John, I've been doing a lot of research for the incubator. I found this organization. It's all supported by the USAID, and it's called Organic Africa. Mm-hmm. It's called the African Organic Agriculture Training Manual Program. If you go online and go and look for Organic Africa, it will blow your mind on the training manuals. You can pull it down, and they've got some incredible training that, the materials, they've got the training, they've got the guides, they've got the PowerPoints. It's unbelievable, and I want to integrate what they're doing in Africa into what we're doing in the incubator, because the challenges are very similar in that how do you get more productivity out of your property and your land? And because a lot of African Americans are going to be coming through the incubator, if you take a look at their materials, it is unbelievable. So I want to have a partnership with them to be able to use their materials with Kentucky State's curriculum to be able to explain these various programs on how to build a sustainable, profitable farm. You all will love it. It is incredible.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Jet, have you seen it before? It looks like Jet. Have you seen it?
No, brother, I'm just so thankful that you're here, man. I mean, God, you have so much to offer, and I appreciate it. I'm excited to talk right now.
I'll send it. I'm going to send that out too, John. Some of the materials from that, it'll blow your mind. Yeah. As well as I'm going to send you Kentucky State's curriculum that they presented to me 2 weeks ago. Okay. It's called Farming for Cash, and I mean it's serious. It's not like we're not doing this for a hobby. I told them, I said, I'm not looking for people who want to do this for a hobby. That's something else. That's somebody else's program. I want this program to be seriously for people who really want to get into farming and to make money. I mean, you might not make $1 million a year, but if you could make, $50,000, if you could make $45,000 and grow into a business to where one day you're making 100 with less than 3 or 4 acres, that's rocking. I mean, we're talking about generational wealth. And I like what we were saying earlier about health. I want Coleman Crest Incubator to be focused on generational wealth and generational health. I was telling John that the other day. I went through this earlier this year. I started on the Gerson diet, which is a plant-based diet. And I'm telling you, I was on that diet. I started April the 18th, and I've been on it since. And I had a physical checkup about 4 weeks ago, and my doctor was blown out of the water. I've lost 20 pounds. My PSA score is 3 versus the range for me. I'm 59 is 4 to 6. He said, you're way below. Last year I was almost a diabetic. I'm no longer a diabetic, but most of all, he said, your liver is clean. And he said, you really are doing a good job of, staying on your Lipitor. I said, Doc, I have not, this is only about 2 weeks ago when I had my annual checkup. I said, I have not taken a tablet of Lipitor since April 18th. And that's what we got to get out to our people is good, clean eating. And
I wanted to congratulate you.
Drugs.
I wanted to congratulate you.
Dr. Ramona, now you talking about getting on the natural stuff. Go ahead, Dr. Ramona.
Yeah, I want to congratulate Jim because that's my favorite diet, the Gerson diet.
Oh, yes.
That's the only one that I believe on. I'm convinced.
It does.
I read the books of Dr. Gerson. I follow his story when he started back in Germany and how he did it and how he had to fight the system. And now, and then after that, his wife, Charlotte Gerson, and I wanted to take the training to become a practitioner of the Gerson diet. I just had to go to San Diego, but I've been learning on my own, and I've been doing the Hippocratic soup, the soup, everything. I just go to the organic store and get all the stuff organic, and I did it for a month. And I felt so good. And I mean, I was like brand new for a while. I wish I had done it longer like you did.
Absolutely.
But so I congratulate you on your willpower, on your dedication, on your being tied to the kitchen, because you had to be tied to the kitchen unless you have help. It takes the whole day to cook the stuff and and you had to bring large volumes of produce in order to make a few glasses, 8 glasses of orange juice with apple. And so congratulations.
All right,
you got it.
That's great.
And Jerry is also a fan of the Gerson diet, and he was doing along with his dad and his mother. So we all in the same place.
Ramona, my wife and I bought the Norwalk juicer, so the power of juices, and that's what
I didn't buy it
fruit, and we've got to communicate and educate people about you don't have to be sicking on these drugs.
Right. No, you don't have to wait because it's okay, but it preserves everything. You don't lose the enzymes of the.
That's right.
Which are the ones, and this guy that was a Nobel Prize, that's the one that advised Gerson, Dr. Gerson, because Gerson wondered why when he came to America, his patients started dying. He was feeding them exactly the same thing.
That's right.
So a friend of him, whose name was Albert, who was a Nobel Prize, told him that it was the enzymes that were getting destroyed because of the centrifugal and the electromagnetic field that extractor, I mean, the juicer produced. So we needed a masticator, and that's an Uruguay juicer.
Right. Absolutely right.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, it's exciting. I just get it. I just get excited over that stuff.
But she got excited on this one.
Yeah, we get excited on that.
That's what we're going to do together.
Hey, well,
generational wealth, generational health.
Yeah.
Yes, congratulations. Now your liver is clean and everything.
It saved my wife's life. It saved both of us. It saved our lives.
Yes. Okay. Great. I let the rest talk. I can talk all day about this. I mute.
All right. Well, we got Gabriel that has got something that he wants to say. Go ahead, Gabriel.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to the excitement. I don't know if anybody else has read the China study, but I read that book from front to cover. I love that book. And I actually went on a very long, a 3-year vegetarian stint. I will say that I wasn't the greatest vegetarian only because here in Atlanta, it's hard to find consistently good fruits and vegetables, and I'm always questioning whether the supermarkets really have fresh food, because they market fresh, but what's the definition of fresh? Is it fresh off the shelf? Is it fresh off the back storeroom? So I'm always questioning that, and then there's organic versus non-organic. But anyways, I digress. The China Study is an awesome book. If you like to read about research and the roots of the whole plant-based diet, you got to read that book. It's off the chain, but it's quite the read because there's a lot of research in it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you read it, you understand why the plant-based diet is a superior diet.
Powerful. Yeah.
All right. We'll definitely have to keep that in mind. I'm gonna ask Samantha. Has she got anything else she would like to share?
I'm just taking all of this in. Sometimes it's better to just do a lot of listening, but I appreciate all the comments in the chat.
All right, that's good. Indigo, you got any comments?
I'm good.
You're good?
I am good. I'm good.
Okay. All right, and I wanted to ask you guys because I couldn't see you guys, so I didn't know if everybody else, I can see them put up a raised hand or wave at me or something. So I just wanted to make sure that we get touch base with you guys. We do try to keep this at an hour. So I see Jetty got his hand up. Go ahead, Jetty.
In order for anyone to get unless you send it to them, brother, notifications of our meetings in advance, I need your email address.
Okay.
I'll be glad to. You'll be at every meeting.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. So if y'all forgive me.
I'll put it on the chat. Do you want me to give it to you now?
No, brother. If it's in there, I'll get it.
Okay.
But sisters, could y'all do the same, please? That's all. If you want to be included, I promise it'll be safe. I won't sell it or anything.
No problem.
Okay.
So Frenchie, if you got contact information, there's a little chat on the side down there that we can put it in, or I do have Samantha's information, and I will keep her in the loop and everything of our meetings and everything. And Samantha, if that's all right with you, I'll share that with Jetty so that when he sends out the invites and stuff, make sure that you're on that.
Okay, sir. Would the phone numbers be the same number every other Thursday?
Yeah, that will be the same. Although
it's always at 6 o'clock. It's always 6 p.m.
Yeah, this one will always be at 6 p.m. We're getting ready. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't know how to get on the video. I only got through on audio. So how is it that y'all doing video?
It's the same.
Yeah, if you have a computer that you can that you have most of them now have the video thing that it take a picture of you and everything else on it. There's a link on there. That first link that in what I sent you should have the link that you can. All you had to do was just click onto that link. It will take you automatically to the Zoom meeting.
Okay, I'll try that the next time.
This is just a reminder, sister. You don't have to give your information. That's all. It's just for convenience. Yeah. So it's the same every.
So, so with that being said, I wanted to share with everybody else that as a part of the group where we're at with our a couple things that I wanted to share. Make sure that I got out. One is that there is a SAR educational grant that's out there that anybody can get in. It's a $4,000 grant, and for Jim, for Jetty, for Quinn, Chef Joseph, Indigo, anybody who's doing any type of training in your area of expertise, you can get this grant. It gives you $4,000. You get to determine where you go and spend it at and what you do with it. You know, you put it into the thing for them, but it is out there. If you go, I forgot which site it's on. I think it's on USDA. But if you just type in SARE, SAR grants, you should be able to find it and pull it up. So that is a grant that is available now. So this is part of what we're going to be doing here in the future, is making sure that we know ahead of time when these grants are out there. A lot of times, as we found out, that there are ones such as this one that are individual grants, and then they have those that are collaboration grants, which is like the 2501 grant that we put in for earlier. So with that 2501 grant, which we call it the LIFE grant, that's a legacy innovation farming. And I forgot what the E was. What was the E for, Jetty?
I remember. I'm ill. Remember that. I can't think too well right now.
Economics. Yeah.
Economics.
So, yeah. So, but with that, we're in the process of putting together our website and everything else. One of the things that we wanted to get with everybody, we'll have Jetty that's going to send out a list of names and stuff that we have, and anything that you guys have that you might want to call the organization, because we are going to create the cooperative among our organizations. And the reason for that, I put on the Facebook website a video by Dr. Boyce Watkins. And many of us have come through his group. That's how we got together and got started. He put together a thing talking about how grants should not be your lifeblood for your starting your company. And
Yes.
so, and he gives specific reasons as to that. And so, if you got an opportunity to check that out, I'd like for you guys to check it out so you can understand what our what we're putting together here is going to be more or less like an umbrella, because as we said, we don't want to change anybody else's business and what they're doing. We're just coming together to work together to support one another. We're not in competition. And in the process of doing that, we're going to use this as an umbrella to shield us. So when we get the grants, it'll come under the cooperative and everything, and then it'll be dispersed out. So then by coming through the cooperative of us, then you know, it protects our individual companies from having to be scrutinized by the government and everything else in what we do, what we say. And the cooperative, by being a group of entities, different entities that we have, different businesses and stuff that we have, that's not going to be affected by, you know, it's its own self. And so it's none of us are going to, anything that we say or do out there will privately will affect this publicly. So we can have our own mindset as to how we run our businesses and things of that nature, and it's not going to affect that. And we won't have the government trying to control what we do. As we know, a lot of times when you get government grants, when you put things together, then they think that since they gave the money that they also have the control over it. And so by this being put up under this umbrella, it will protect any special ideas and stuff that we have that we might contribute, but that does not give them ownership of that. So Jim, look like you got something to say?
No, I agree. I agree with you, John.
So that's what we're going to be doing. So we're looking at that. Tamika's putting together the bylaws and stuff, and then once we get all that together, we'll be working together, get Deb in on some stuff on helping us get some stuff organized and stuff, and working from there. We're probably going to need 2 or 3 people who are looking at being active board meeting members. And when I say active, I mean that we got to put in some work. That, you know, so if you're not able to, you know, to put in the work that goes with it, you know, we won't feel any certain way about it. We will feel a certain way about it if you go and say that, yes, I'm going to do it. And then when it comes time to getting stuff done, then you're like, today's not a good day. I'm tired today. So, you know, we want you guys to think about it. So we're going to ask for individuals who want to be considered for that, and then we'll put it up for a vote among our members. You know, we're going to put this out there for, I don't know how many we got. Well, we got probably close to 50 people in the group now. So we'll just make sure that they know. So, but anyhow, that's basically where we're at. For those who have their training thing, be sure that you're working on your course curriculum, because it's at the end of the month when this comes out. So we got to be good and ready to go. Indigo, looked like you had something to say?
No,
okay.
I don't.
Okay, I saw your thing light up, so I didn't know if you were trying to say anything or not.
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else got anything to say before we go ahead and get ready to? Chef Joseph Kick Sauce has raised his hand. Go ahead, Darrell.
Okay. So so I know you were mentioning about the training. You know, have your training curriculums together.
Yeah.
I'm actually putting a seminar on next week, and so you know, basically entrepreneur boot camp, and teaching entrepreneurs how to take those you know, those turn whatever their passion is into a business. But as far as the training, what direction would you like to see the training platforms be on? Like what? Because I actually have 4 different training platforms, but what would be the target focus of the training in your opinion? Thank you.
My thing is whichever way works best for you. So if you already got a workshop that you already got going, and that's the way that works best for you, all I'm saying is that when we get what we're getting, just be ready to be able to produce. So you know, and that's basically it. You know, just have it down how you're going to work it out. So whichever way works best for you. As we're saying, we're not trying to dictate how you run your business or anything. You know, we just want everything to be professional, because we want to hit the ground. We want to hit it hard, and we want them to see that when they come and tell me that they can't find any Black African Americans, underserved, socially disadvantaged, whatever they want to call us nowadays, they can't find anybody out there to get the grants and stuff that they got. I want them to know that there are those that have been out there, that they just been looking in the wrong places, and now it's time for us to go up there and to get what belongs to us. I know that there are those who frown on getting grants. I paid my taxes, and I want all my bennies. So I don't know about anybody else. If you want to pay taxes in so I can get more bennies, then that's fine. If you don't want yours, I'll take them. But I want what belongs to me. And so and that's just that on that. So all I'm just saying is whatever it is, whatever training material, if you're going to use, if you already got it on your laptop. Just have your stuff ready. That's all I'm saying. We moving. Trust me.
Good.
Trust me.
Can I put out one more thing?
Go for it.
The four trainings just for the group, just to know what I focus on, or at least my company, is the Chef Joseph's. We focus on recipe development. So we have the recipe development seminars, which is developing recipes. So if you need to learn how to cook, fry, bake, and take that product to market, that is one of the seminar platforms. The second one is the Chef Joseph's Ginger and Alkaline 10.4. So that's when I talk about everything's done on PowerPoint slides, and we talk about ginger, alkaline, and basically how the pH in the body, how that basically affects the pH and all this kind of stuff. The second and third one is the Chef Joseph Kidpreneurs. That's basically for children, teaching young entrepreneurship. And the next one is the Chef Joseph's Entrepreneur Bootcamp. Wow. So those are 4 platforms that we touch on. Thank you.
Only thing I want to say, Chef Joseph, aka Darrell, why didn't you put this on the Facebook thing of what you're doing? So be sure to, we got to learn how to work together now. There's no sense in being bashful. As long as this business is productive, go ahead and put your stuff out there, because that's what we're about. We're about working with each other. So if you got something out there that you're doing, seminar, whatever training thing that you're doing, put it out there for the group so that we can get involved. The more we know about each other, the more we can help direct other people, because we bump into people all the time that may need what it is that you got. So,
right. Okay.
That's what it's all about. So, anybody else got anything to say? Any questions?
Hey, John, one thing I'd like to share is when I send out that Farming for Cash from Kentucky State.
Yeah.
For any of you who live close to a land grant college or university, you can partner with them the same way I'm partnering with Kentucky State and using that same curriculum. Yeah. So it's land grant universities. I went to Kentucky State because of my parents' connection, but also in learning, there's a major grant that I'm able to get through them called the Beginning Farmer and Rancher Development Program. It's a federal program designed to help aspiring and beginner farmers to be able to get into the business. And so I needed them to be able to apply for the grant, of course, with me helping them. But come to find out, they already knew about it and they're already using the program. But what I'm going to send out later this evening, you too can use this with any land grant university or college that's close by.
Right. And that's part of the thing. Even with the grant that we have, we're working with Purdue University, which is a land grant university.
Yes.
But one of the main things that I told them that we want to work with some HBCUs, 1890
preferably
universities, and so they told us in the beginning that they had worked with some in the past. I'm not exactly who it was that they said that they had worked with, but we told them that I think they're going to do 5 different workshops and stuff through the universities, or trainings through the universities, that we make sure that at least 2 of them are going to be this year with different HBCUs. So would love to work with Jim and Kentucky State with what they're doing. Like I said, to me, it's a win-win situation to be able to do that, and we can move forward from there. So, like I said, trying to be respectful of everybody's time. We're a few minutes over where we normally go. I know we got a lot of stuff online. We will be sending some information out. I just want to share that last little bit with everybody, where we're at and how we're moving forward. Because we're doing this with or without the grant. I know we're going to get the grant. I'm just speaking it into existence. And we can push forward from there. And would love to welcome everybody back again. Frenchie, Samantha, Jim, once you walk in the door, you consider family. So if you don't come back in, that's only because you don't want to be back in. So we appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for your time. And we will let you know. All right.
Thank you, John. Thanks, everybody, for your feedback.
All right.
Take care.
All right.
Peace and love, everybody.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Peace
you.
and love.
Thank you.
Peace and blessings.
Everybody.
All right.
Nice.